Alright, hello everyone, it's Mystic Juicer back with some more Yomi action. We are continuing with IYL action. Southpaw Hare versus Jadiel. This is in Morningstar Sanctuary, the same division that I am currently in. Southpaw Hare and I just finished our match. I've recorded that, so I will put those results up soon. And now it's going to be Jadiel's time to shine. And we've got BBB versus DeGray. Interesting match, I think. DeGray, I think, has a lot of tools to make BBB's life very difficult. Wow, opening up with the 9 throw, I like it. I like the boldness. Not afraid to go in. Seems like Jadiel might favor a more aggressive style of DeGray. But I think DeGray generally has a lot of tools in this matchup to contend very nicely with BBB's tools. So he has a lot of stuff that sits at a nice poking range. So his 2s, his jacks, his kings are all very nice poking tools in the neutral. And there's the other half of it. Ghost Riposte means that a lot of this match is actually probably going to be played up close. Being able to play ace in neutral means that the only way, if DeGray is playing his single ace in neutral, that means the only way that BBB is getting to range is if he plays that king throw that he has, and he might not need to. So there we see Jadiel going, trying to go for something that would scare. So he's showing that he has the single ace that will put your opponent in a moment of tension where they're thinking, okay, should I throw? Should I block? What's going on here? What should I do? And Jadiel tried to use that opportunity to sneak a counterpoint in there, but Southpaw Hare was willing to take the ace dodge. It could indicate that Southpaw Hare, so it's either a read, it's either a hard read, or he suspects that he has a joker. He could have a joker. He's got the joker, then he's going to be a little bit less worried about poking in the neutral, because he knows that even if he gets caught with ace dodge, then he is perfectly safe from any shenanigans. So now it's up to... Oh, sorry, we are actually at range. Sorry, I forgot about that. Yeah, that's right. Okay, so the ace dodge makes a lot more sense now. So ace dodge, again, at range, the only throw that BBB can play is the king. So long as Jadiel is satisfied to just play the ace dodge over and over and over again, and potentially catch that queen, that cheeky queen that Southpaw Hare played. So Southpaw Hare blocked immediately on the first turn, expecting the ace dodge, and then hoping that it would bait a block on the next turn. Nicely played, king. Finally found one. All right, there we go. Southpaw Hare is feeling himself. He's happy. He's got the knockdown. This is going to take the any dodges out of range for Jadiel for one turn. If Southpaw Hare has a dodge, he may choose to play it here, expecting Jadiel to play a king. But I don't think that Jadiel really needs to wake up with anything. He can satisfy. He can perfectly be happy just to play a block here. Southpaw Hare could go for a because Jadiel might not feel threatened. Southpaw Hare might be able to sneak in something cheeky like a cross-up attempt or another king throw, but instead double block and we are back in close. And BBB is actually doing quite nicely. So 59 hit points to 52. That is quite good. Jadiel is going to refuel with with at least one ace. And Southpaw Hare is going to, for his part, do the same thing. He's going to start threatening, 0.2 speed, 21 damage. That does tie with DeGray's reversal, which is his king. So not a great exchange for DeGray. Definitely not one in this situation where life totals are very, very even. And BBB or Southpaw Hare can also be quite happy that their hand totals are actually very, very close to each other. Okay. So Southpaw Hare went for the obvious play. Jadiel also went for the obvious play of just playing the single ace that he powered up for. Actually, is that true? Did he power up for the... Okay, yeah, there we go. So he did have the Joker, or at least he drew it recently, making that relatively safe. Did not want to risk throwing there just in case Jadiel went, was powering up that single ace just so he could play either raw bunker or, something like point counterpoint, which would also beat all throws as he can spin it aside. Nice cross-up defense. Although throwing on cross-up, that's pretty cheeky. So Jadiel unwilling perhaps to play ace dodge 2 turns in a row. And Southpaw Hare is going to go in here. He's going to try to cash in as much damage as he can, knowing that the queens don't do a tremendous amount at range. So they are a much more useful neutral combo filler tool. They do deal 15 damage. Not very card efficient, but for a character with only 2 combo points, they really do help BBB do a fair amount of hurting. I'm actually surprised we haven't seen any robo headbutts yet. Those are really, really juicy in this matchup, I assume, because DeGray does have to actively go and throw BBB in order to close this game out. He cannot just neutral ace dodge forever. He does got it. He's got to put in some work, and if you got point counterpoint and you are pushed to play it because you think, hey, this thing is pretty sweet, it wins against dodges, it wins against throws, why don't I go ahead and put that up into the neutral, and then you get hit with a robo headbutt into 40 damage combo. That is pretty disgusting. Nice, gets the king throw. That knowing Southpaw Hare, he is a very big fan of only ever revealing the card. He's very clean about that type of play. He only ever reveals the known card. If he does draw a multiple, I am less aware of that kind of thing. So I give away a lot of free information in my games, which is not great. Again, we've got that same tension here. Is it going to be a cross-up attempt? Now Jadiel does have to be a little bit worried about cross-up attempts, yeah. So he knew that Southpaw Hare was expecting the wake-up king, went for the block, tried to hedge his bets. That is, of course, going to beat Blodge, and it is going to beat half of the time, a little bit more than half of the time, a cross-up attempt. BB only has an odd cross-up on his 3, so the only way he can get past blocks is either by playing a queen in that situation, which is not a bad move either. Ooh, yeah, there we go. Has the other king, was holding on to that. If BBB, like this matchup does mean it has this weird situation where if somehow DeGray ever gets a life lead and BBB has played all 4 of his kings are in the discard, then and they're at range, so kind of a really weird situation to get into. But if that situation ever does come up, then DeGray automatically wins. He can forever play ace dodge until timer runs out, and there's just nothing that BBB can do about it. So let's see. So Jadiel is down in hit points. He has found himself some aces. Just the one ace? Yes, just the one ace. Yeah, just has found the one ace, at least the known one ace. Got one in the discard already, yeah. We got some new players watching some high-level action here. Very cool. Southpaw Hare taking a moment, just pauses the game real quick, goes, hey guys, I know we're in a fight for our lives here, but ooh. Okay, loses the king throw, gets duffed with the 3. Was hoping to catch an ace dodge there. Gets comboed into the jack, so not too much damage. Southpaw Hare should be happy with that. That is the second king played. So expect Southpaw Hare to have at least one more. Okay, This is a turn where if Southpaw Hare has a joker, his decision making can be very, very free. This is going to give 12 hit points if Southpaw Hare attacks. He can lethal through that. He can definitely deal 25 damage. If he, for instance, Robo Headbutts into Queen, Pump, that will be lethal, even with the Troublesome Rhetoric. He does have to worry about named and then dodge. Yeah, there we go. That is exactly the nightmare scenario. So expect a joker behind this for Southpaw Hare. I would be far more likely, I think, to block. Oh, wow. Just lets him have it. And this is going to be a significant amount of damage. Okay. Did not have another normal. So that is very good, because that Pile Bunker just dealt 16 damage on its own. That is a mighty shot there from Jadiel. Tying up the game. Okay, Southpaw Hare getting rid of queens. It is very important for him to be able to trade with kings in neutral if he needs to. Trade still in his favor. It won't kill Jadiel, so he will still have to do something afterwards, but could be dicey. Okay, once again, Troublesome Rhetoric on attacks. What are we going to see this time? This is where I think we see him play point-counterpoint. So I would like to see Southpaw Hare attack into this again. Preferably with something that kills. I don't think there's anything that does kill. Robo Headbutt into Ace would kill. Ooh, wow, okay. I got hit with that mix-up. Let's see if Southpaw Hare has the joker. He did not face down last time. So the odds are slim that he does have it, but Jadiel might respect it anyway. Depending on how much gas he has left in the tank, he may choose not to follow this up. Oh no, he's probably just calculating lethal. That should do it. That is exactsies there. Oh, had the joker. Had the joker, but Jadiel comes out of that exchange with 37 hit points, so Southpaw Hare's got to do some work here. Goes into overdrive, so we've got a couple of mix-ups here. He hasn't played any dodges except for the one. That is awesome. So he has the opportunity to be able to play. He doesn't have any queens anymore. Oh no! And Jadiel is aware of the mix-ups, goes for the option select 7. He does not have to rotate this. He can just allow it to pass. Oh, good to go lethal. Yeah, well, it depends. It depends. Yeah, generally, I think is the correct answer. Ooh, leaves him alive. Just failed me twice. Yeah, generally is the right answer there. If you have the lethal, especially off of a 1 combat, is generally advisable to go for it. But sometimes it can leave you in a situation, especially if you leave your hand so ruined, so out of options against particular characters who can exploit that. The typical example would be something like a grappler with dominant throws. Oh, and that is going to be it. That is going to be it for the first game in the match. Oh, I think Guac actually... I think I've seen some of his videos. That's actually kind of awesome. Holy crap. So shoutouts to Guac. if it's the person I'm thinking of, I think he's got a couple of videos out. Yeah, like I said, or like he's saying, from way back. Okay, switches to Zane, and immediate 5 throw right off the bat. Perhaps, so hopefully he's going to be able to have sniffed out the style of gameplay that Jadiel likes to play. Wow, right out the gates with Ace, with 5 throw into Ace, not messing around. Gotta get that damage. Puts himself at 5 cards in hand, so I don't know. Zane is a character who can definitely get himself into trouble. I think this troublesome rhetoric is absolutely going to be respected here. I expect Southpaw Hare to just go for a block. I think that makes the most sense. Even if you get thrown here. Ooh! Okay. I got a mix-up so good, I got hit with it. Nice. So gets those aces right back. What is he going to do with them? That's the question. All right, he's going to put aces in faces here. He's got an opportunity. If he's got a queen, that's going to be a pretty good amount of damage. Okay, flips a 9. That's pretty good. If he's got a queen and a jack in hand, this can be a lot of damage. Oh, here we go. The Soul Destroyer. 27 damage and knockdown. And, you know, one of those cards came for free. That is a lot of hurt. That is quite a considerable amount of hurt. I believe, let's see. No, that was after the, yeah, that was after the exchange. Okay. Oh wow, I'm actually a little surprised that Southpaw Hare didn't press the advantage there. It's been basically 4 or 5 turns. I think I just, you know, with a life lead this big, I probably don't care about getting hit with a reversal at this point. Just gonna go in for some damage. Nice. Okay, playing the safe game now. Just trying to avoid getting pile bunkered with his face right off. Oh my god. Do we have the dream? Okay. I almost lost my damn mind. It's like Shenanigan flips into Anarchy turn 7 after like Gold Burst first. Like, oh my god, that would have been the most disgusting way to win that game. Oh man. All right, okay. Southpaw Hare puts an Anarch Crusher out there. He's just playing safe stuff, basically. You know, dodging, playing some fairly fast attacks. 2.8 is a pretty good speed. Jadiel responding with the ace dodge into queen, thinking, okay, I've discouraged him from from throwing. I can now start putting this ace dodge out. I'm trying to think of what Jadiel has been doing in the past. I expect Jadiel to maybe play a 3 if he's got it. Zane does not have any odd blocks, so the 3 will cross up. He's put a Troublesome Rhetoric on attacks, so he's going to discourage Southpaw Hare from waking up with some aggressive stuff. Could go for a throw to just, you know, deal with a block and deal some more damage. Gray does have pretty mean and damaging 8 damage throws. Ooh, gets the double dip again, and Southpaw Hare has just been playing into these. Yeah, he's really feeling it. Like, I think that is the 3rd or 4th Troublesome Rhetoric setup that Jadiel has caught him with, and they've not been kind of hedgy risk minimization setups. They have been like aggressive reward maximization setups, right? So like what I'm talking about is, so usually like a risk minimization play would be your de Grey, you play Troublesome Rhetoric on attacks, and then you go for a throw, right? So if they don't attack, like you 7 throw them, like that's the least risky kind of mix up, because if they beat your 7 with an attack, they can't beat it with throws, they can't block out of it, and if they play an attack, then you get 12 health and you kind of shield yourself. What he's been doing is, ooh, okay, this is a good situation for Southpaw Hare. He can definitely make something happen here. Jadiel is on very low cards now, 3 cards in hand, and this is how de Grey gets himself in trouble. If I'm Southpaw Hare, I might elect to block one more time or dodge one more time here, because if I'm that low on cards, okay, yeah, okay. So he was probably thinking the same thing I was, which, okay, you just went really, really low on cards. I wouldn't do that without a plan if it was me. So I'm going to give you the respect and play the block because I'm expecting a gold burst or a king or another ace or something like that, something crazy, and something that might get him back in the game. And Southpaw Hare doing his damnedest here to tighten the noose and leave no gaps for Jadiel to escape from, blocking and setting himself up with a massive hand. He's going to be able to dodge his way and king his way to victory here if everything goes well for him. Let's see if Jadiel can steal. Ooh, puts out that 5 attack. Yeah, this is one of the things that Zanes do have to contend with, is that they have actually kind of limited ways of getting in the neutral game if their opponents are playing attacks, even fairly slow attacks like that 5. Zane only has like good combo starter normals on his 2 and 3, and granted they're monsters, right? We saw that in the first game. That 2 attack dealt 27 damage and knocked down, and set up Zane's Vortex beautifully. Did a huge chunk of damage as well. But if they don't have that, then the only tools they have are big normals that they're probably not going to play in neutral, preferring to save them for Vortex time when their opponents are knocked down, or dominant throws, which also lose to attacks. So I'd like to see Southpaw Hare throw in some dodges here. Ooh, gets him with the same rank throw here. Gets in. This is going to deal some amount of damage. It's very likely. Actually, Southpaw Hare has known double ace, I believe. I'm pretty sure. I might be remembering another game. Oh, flips a 2. That's bad news bears. But does he have a jack? Okay, queen into jack. There we go. Got another opportunity to close out the game here. If Jadiel has a troublesome rhetoric, expect it to come out here. If he's got a reversal, it might come out as well. Okay, creator and destroyer. I like that. Ooh, okay, gets 2 kings. So expect Southpaw Hare to absolutely play a normal into this, or possibly a throw. Throw would also be quite effective, I think. Depending on how many kings he has, he may choose to play a king here. Will deal 5 chip. Yeah, there we go. So as soon as he saw the 2 kings at the bottom of the deck now, he knew that the chances of Jadiel drawing into another king, which is the thing he needs to save himself from this, or draw into a joker, are very, very low. So went for the cross up normal, got it, and evens up the game 1-1. Nicely played. Well, very commanding game 2 there by Southpaw Hare, taking only 30-something damage. Okay, so Southpaw Hare versus Jadiel. We come back. Yes, absolutely. So Jadiel switches to Trock, the Zane counterpick character of choice. Let's see if he knows how to play the matchup. Let's see if Southpaw Hare can show some counterplay here. Okay, opens up with the immediate throw. Okay, no follow-up. That's a good sign. That is a very good sign that he knows what he's about. So I would start to be... that would start to tell me as Southpaw Hare that I definitely need to respect what Jadiel is doing here. A lot of starting players, and I haven't seen Jadiel all that often. I think this is the first tournament that I've seen him participate in. Ooh, catches him with the throw. And yeah, a lot of new players will just automatically follow up with Trock's biggest normal, and just try to cash in as much damage as at one time. It's very difficult at first to play the strategic side of any matchup. You will tend to see starting players play play to win combat, right? They're going to go into it thinking, okay, this is Yomi. This is about knowing the mind of my opponent. This is about guessing what they are going to play and playing the card that beats what I think they're going to play. And only after you develop a more kind of robust understanding of the game and what the different characters do and how different matchups play out, you realize that, you know, knowing like that approach of knowing what your opponent is going to play is only really effective once you can value your opponent's hand. Once you can take educated guesses about, you know, based on what they've played in the last couple turns, based on the kinds of things that they do and their tendencies in certain situations, in repeatable situations, like when they're knocked down or when they have advantage against you, then that you can then make actual informed decisions based on those reads. Before then, you're just making guesses. You're playing guessies. It's not thinkums, you know? Gotta upgrade your guessies to thinkums. Alright, so gets the throw, manages to avoid Trock getting an attached block, which is quite nice. So the things that Zane has in this matchup is he can actually threaten with big normals. Most grapplers aren't too afraid in the early game of getting hit with normal attacks, unless somebody strings together something like a run in order to get, or a straight in order to get aces. Typically, as a grappler, you're not too worried about losing some life in the early game to normal attacks because, hey, that's just the grappler life, right? In certain cases, you're actually very happy to lose combat to throws if it means that your opponent overextends, spends too many cards out of their hand, reduces their hand quality such that they are actually weakening their future strategic plays and combat reveals. So you know, in a lot of ways, throwing even as a combat loss can come out to your advantage. All the grapplers have very good hit points and can do that sort of thing. And here we see exactly what I was talking about. Yeah. Yeah, Southpaw Hare has had a really good success with punching out king throws. And that's just sort of the thing that that Zane can do in this matchup is he has, you know, his 6s, his 7s, and his 9s become pretty good combat reveals, right? They defend against throws, against SPDs, so the king throws from Trock or Rook. And just generally, whenever you run one of those big normals into a throw, you're not too mad about it. It's like, you know, you can feel quite happy that happened. You can come, especially given Zane's shenanigans in 8, the fact that he gets free cards off of any combat win, it means that his hand quality is just not affected as badly as other characters are. So he gets that normal draw, he gets a shenanigans draw. It's rude stuff. Okay, so Southpaw Hare was going for the maximum disrespect, expected Jadiel to go for a block there. Since he has one attached block already, he's going to want to get a second one attached, he figures, and thought, hey, you've already powered up for 3 aces. You're probably feeling pretty safe. There's really no reason you should be scared of blocking, so I'm going to go for the throw anyway. And Jadiel, on the other hand, was thinking, hey, I've just powered up 3 aces. You're probably going to respect the fact that I've got 3 aces and I can play them in neutral and, you know, trade quite fantastically against your normals. Therefore, I'm going to throw you. And unfortunately, that came out badly for Southpaw here. Still has a fair amount of health, and wow, he is just not poking enough in neutral. He's just chasing those blocks, and Jadiel is like, hey, I don't have to do anything here. I've got aces in the back. You better roll up your sleeve, do some work, because I'm just gonna throw you to death, sir. So 28 hit points for Southpaw Hare. He's got to make some magic happen here. Oh, and there's the dodge. Like, I'm sick of you just throwing me. I'm going to go for the knockdown here. See if he goes. Okay, immediately goes into Eagle Totem. Southpaw Hare has the Joker for defense. He's feeling okay about that exchange. And now Jadiel is at 3 cards in hand. How many blocks have we seen in the discard? Fair amount of them, actually. 3s are almost gone. Okay, no, he's still got plenty of blocks. But Southpaw Hare is now threatening 50 damage. If I am Jadiel, I throw here immediately. I do not want to get thrown a couple of times and then get lethal set up. Ooh, and there we go. Catches the dodge. With Southpaw Hare at 13. Yeah. the no respect sad face. Southpaw Hare's just got to adjust to the fact that Jadiel plays a much more disrespectful range. He's much more aggressive with this character than he expects him to be. There we go. Finds the other dodge. Catch these hands. Okay, shenanigans into a queen, no face down. This is an opportunity to deal some damage. He's got 9 cards in hand, so if he has Anarchy, that's 5 that he can toss into there. Ooh, and here's the setup. Here's the knockdown setup. The only thing that Jadiel can do to defend himself is wake up with Joker or block against Anarchy. And if he wakes up with Joker... Oh no, he had guaranteed lethal. Oh no! Oh, that's... Oh no! Oh my god! Oh, that is when you regret. That is immediate regret. I don't disagree, though, with the... that's a fantasy. I don't disagree with the Creator and Destroyer there. If you don't Creator and Destroyer there, I assume that Troc has a block. There's just very low likelihood that he doesn't have one. It's even lower now, unfortunately. He could have the Joker now. He's got to be worried about Wake Up King or Wake Up Throw into anything if he dodges here. Oh, goes for the Anarchy. It was guaranteed before the C and D, unless he drew a block off the top, but that is very unfortunate. Jadiel absolutely playing safe there, plays the block. He's like, okay, if you cross me up or throw me, then, you know, bully for you, but it's not going to deal 52 or 57 damage, which is what he was at. It's the only thing he was afraid of. If I'm Jadiel, I dodge here. I do not want to get lit up with a gold burst. Ooh, catches him with the queen. Was looking to defend himself against king throw there. Pretty good hedge against a normal as well. An immediate face down from Jadiel. Not much off the shenanigans, so maybe you respect it. Nope, tags it on. He's... Wow, okay, good stuff. No Joker on that. Manages to find 13 damage. Crawling his way back into this game. He make it happen. He's got to be so... Like, he's got to be terrified of kings. He's got to be terrified of kings and normal throws. Does not really need to respect queens or jacks. He can take a combat loss to a queen or jack, and he is playing a pure anti-normal, anti-king range here. He's playing queens. It doesn't give him normal draw, but it keeps him safe from kings. If Jadiel finds a dodge... Oh, face down again. My god, these shenanigans are out of control. He's absolutely got to follow this up with the king, or with the jack, yeah. Okay, and this is still in his he's still in the running to win this. He needs to find 17 damage. If he's got a 9 in hand, that is absolutely doable. Got to be even more worried about king, though. Oh god, because meaty attacks make all of his normals 1.0 speed. Oh my god, he's threading the needle. He diffuses the Wake Up Queen. He takes the 9 damage. He's still playing resolutely anti-king games here. But it looks like Jadiel does not have it. So now, if Southpaw Hare has a 7 or a 9, he will win against king throw. The damage will be dealt, I believe, first. So you don't get to live through this. So if he's got a 7 or a 9, I expect Southpaw Hare to play it right now. Oh! It was the only way he could have lost the game, is playing that 6. Okay, doesn't flip another jack. So if that is a joker, there is still a chance that Jadiel can stay alive here. Oh my god! Oh my god! This game is ridiculous. 1 hit point for Jadiel, 4 hit points. Oh my god, the worst stuff! He had it the whole time! Oh god. Does Jadiel have another queen? Queen will be lethal unless Southpaw Hare blocks it. This is too tense. This is absolutely too tense. Only 3 dodges played for Jadiel, but he's only got a 3-card hand. So what do you respect? Oh, gets queened on knockdown. Good lord. Oh man, that was a hell of a set. My god, that was awesome. All right, so Jadiel goes up 2-1. This is a first to 3, so Southpaw Hare gets another opportunity to counterpick here. Is he going to go? Is he going to go to BBB? No, switches to Geiger. Okay, this used to be Southpaw Hare's chosen main in most of any situation. Recently, he started playing much more BBB against grapplers. But BBB against Troc is actually it can be very difficult for BBB. Troc has a lot of tools in neutral to deal with BBB up close, and he can also do quite a lot to discourage him from getting anything done at range. This is quite different. This matchup, I also think, like as a Troc player, I don't mind playing this matchup. Unless the Geiger player is very, very strong, you have way less decisions to make than the Geiger player does. You are playing fairly standard grappler stuff, and if you are patient enough, you can, in some cases, out-patient Geiger in the late game as well. So let's see how this goes. So the early game in this matchup is absolutely a dance between Troc trying to attach as many of his blocks as possible to try to get Beast Unleashed active as soon as he possibly can. Try to avoid feeding Geiger cards. So you want to be doing some throwing to try to get Geiger, at a relatively stable hand size. You're trying not to get exploded by queens when you're trying to throw. You're trying to not walk into too many normal attacks in the early game. And yeah, if you can, even if you manage to navigate the early game, if Geiger manages to assemble, Exodia, if he manages to assemble a fair amount of jacks, queens, aces, that sort of thing, then you can still run into situations where the late game can go badly out of your favor. So you are very likely in this matchup to still need to navigate a lethal temporal distortion play from the Geiger player. On the other hand, you do have a lot of tools as Troc to be able to walk through those situations. You have Queen to be able to deal with any kind of attack, attack style play in those temporal distortion moments. You have King to be able to option select normal attacks and throws and dodges and blocks. Like there's a lot of things you can do to protect yourself. The fact that you have Queen and the fact that you have Ace to be able to play so that you only lose to stuff like King or the 0.0 speed side of Geiger's aces is actually very, very good. If you navigate to the late game or to that point in the game with a high amount of health, then you can take that risk. You can say, hey, I don't mind if I lose to ace into 2 more aces. That's only 40 damage. I continue to live. That is 40 damage that Geiger no longer has. I can face down, you know, I can have a joker and have it be effective against that. All sorts of stuff can go. Ooh, this is going to be probably pretty big. See if Southpaw Hare empties his hand here and tries to cash in that guaranteed damage. Ooh, lots of queens. Okay. Still has a fairly high hand size. 32 damage is not too bad. He's still got the knockdown and temple distortion here. Jadiel has already played 2 jacks and played a fair amount of dodges. 3 dodges gone already. You do want to hold on to some of those so that you can play a threat of... I can only think of it as true power of beasts at this point. Beast Unleashed. Yeah, there you go. Jesus. Troc players confirmed idiots. All right, Wake Up Queen gets out of Temporal Distortion land. The threat of that was actually kind of defanged already. Southpaw Hare just trying to leverage the threat of it, possibly to get a little bit more damage out of some normal attacks. Jadiel only has 1 attached block. I think he can probably safely go into block zone. Ooh, there we go. He had an opportunity. With the Temporal Distortion play having been throw into Queen, Queen, King, it's a pretty good and pretty likely situation that Southpaw Hare didn't have any other spirals in his hand to play anyway. It's very unlikely that he would have any steam left, essentially. So the options, the Wake Up Queen on that last turn really was to try to deal with a cross-up situation, but also option select a slow or fast time spiral play. Nice 6. Jadiel went for the Wake Up throw, expecting Southpaw Hare to respect his Queen or Jack Wake Up options. No respect given. We get the face down. Southpaw Hare, ooh, follows it up immediately, cashes in that damage. It was the right call to make. 27 hit points remain for Troc. But, Southpaw Hare is at 6 cards in hand. So Jadiel is not out of this, Jadiel is not out of this game yet. He absolutely can make some stuff happen. This is not great. It's R&D for 4, so that's not terrible. Better than R&D for 8, but still not great. You do not want Geiger to be choosing the cards he gets. Southpaw Hare, if he is greedy, may try to go for a throw here, expecting Jadiel to respect an immediate king play. What do we see? There we go. Jadiel finally starts respecting options, and it is contributing to his death here. Big damage out of that. Does not even go for the safe time spiral play, and 4 hit points remain. This is looking very, very difficult for Jadiel. A lot of chip. Any time spirals are going to be a real problem. I think at this point, Southpaw Hare can just play him as he draws them. Yeah, kings are going to come out to shine, and there we go. So tied up at 2-2. So ace match coming. Very nicely navigated by Southpaw Hare there. Jadiel was just unwilling, played it a little too aggressively for Southpaw Hare's range, and immediately goes back to Gray. So let's see if he can make it happen here. I think this matchup is fairly good for Geiger. If he doesn't get exploderated by Gray in the early game, and let's see if Southpaw Hare plays anti-throw. Ooh, okay, yeah, that is, I think that counts as an anti-throw range. Jadiel has played fairly aggressively on the openers with throwing stuff. I'm curious. I'm not a very good Geiger player. I've only played him a couple of times and not to great results, especially in the Geiger versus Rook matchup, ironically. But I'm very curious about the use of the king there. I would think that you would want to keep the king for the mid game where you can try to set up kind of ugly temporal distortion combos and stuff like that. Oh, goes for throw on knockdown. And Jadiel he's played a very tight hand to the rudder on wake up moves so far in the set, and is now finally opening up his range a little bit, and having thought, okay, hey, I've conditioned you for a couple of games now to expect me to play very passively on my knockdown, and now I'm going to start unleashing these kings to devastating effect. Southpaw Hare undeterred, playing Gears Out Geiger here, letting the kings fly, seeing if he can make some more stuff happen. So he has been aggressive on knockdown. We'll see if he keeps that up. See if Jadiel responds in kind. Ooh, trying to eat this man's lunch on his own knockdown. That is some greed right there, and I think now I understand why the early king came out, because the man had like 6 of them in his opening hand. All right, immediate power up, 4 double aces, 7 cards in hand, Southpaw Hare on 6. Sorry, 8 to 6. If I'm Southpaw Hare, I am worried about a third hidden ace, but I probably still poke into this. Yeah, there we go. Oh my god. Oh my god. Just do it. All right, he's got another opportunity here. He might want to elect to save the gold for last. All right, Jadiel, does he wake up double ace? Oh, wakes up king. Oh my god. Oh god. This man. Absolutely zero chill Geiger. Yeah, exactly. All right, how many aces does he have? Did he manage to draw 2 silent aces so far to be able to get the quad ace combo here? If I'm Jadiel, I'm like, what is this man? Whose man's is this? All right, gets caught with the 8 throw. A lot of 8s too. Finds the throw. Face down from Jadiel. I respect it as Southpaw Hare, and so Southpaw Hare agrees. We're eating this man's bursts. What's going on? What's he got left? He's got a single known ace in hand. Stuff's gonna get rough real soon. Stuff is already rough, but it's very rough. Oh, the wake up queen. My god. The greed. The desperation wake up queen. I mean, Southpaw Hare did go for the oh my god, he had 3 of them. Well, 3 is different from 4. 12 hit points is very different from 2. Let's see if Jadiel can fight his way back. He's still got cards in hand. He's still got the aces he needs to be to bait stuff from Southpaw Hare. But it's not looking good. This is a very commanding lead that Southpaw Hare's got. And it is... Oh my god. Science? He's gonna science him to death? That is absolutely brutal, and Jadiel does not even face down, and that is going to be it for the set. Holy smokes, what a set. Beautifully played. Very, very nice games from both of these players, and yeah, Southpaw Hare with the throw speed at the end there. Nicely done. GG's, guys. As always, thank you for watching, and I will see you later. Until next time, enjoy yourself some Yomi. Cheers.